In an interview with David Moyes, he was talking about the atmosphere at the new stadium and saying it's not, it's not quite as intense as it was at Goodison. I don't know, I've never been there. I'll tell you, at Goodison I have, and that was unbelievable. Not I won't say the greatest stadium in the world, but blimey, an atmosphere when those fans got rocking. And it's, stadiums, you just look at them, the new stadiums sort of lack a little bit. Well, first off, they'll feel they lack character. But that may be just the old age, who knows that? You're born, you're brought up in a stadium, you just love it. But there's no doubt these new stadiums, a lot of them, they don't have that character. They don't produce the volume. You don't feel the intensity. And there must be reasons. It's not the fans themselves. It's definitely not. You see Arsenal, they're doing well at the moment. So, gosh, that stadium at this moment, the Emirates, is really, really brilliant. It's fantastic. But Highbury still, in my opinion, for longer times, forget what they say about the Highbury Library. That's just media and other fans trying to knock it. That rocks that stadium, especially when we were doing well. What are the reasons? Look, there's no doubt standing up was a big difference. When you are standing up, you're all close together and there's more of you all condensed in an area, younger, jumping up and down. You're all cheering at the same time. It comes out, you're louder. Honestly, it's brilliant. No doubt that intensifies, the volume. I know it from lots of places, people don't bother sitting down. They stand up all day long in their seats downstairs in the North Bank. In that lower tier, a load of people just stand the whole game. But it's still not the same as being close to each other, as being able to jump up and down with each other. It doesn't get the same. You're not as close to the pitch. When I was a kid, a young kid, sort of, well, I remember first games and up to, I don't know what age I was, going down and standing at the corner flag. You literally could, not quiet, but literally could touch the player. You'd call out to him and shout at him. I know you still can, it's not the same, go to London Stadium, you're miles from the players. And the stadiums tend to sort of go outwards a little bit. So, you're at the top and you are sort of miles away. You're not sort of on top of the players, are you? It's a simple set. Stadiums need redesigning. Bayern Munich have done it. Spurs, I understand, have copied it where one end is just from top to bottom. No doubt about it. Corporate, having lots more corporate seats doesn't help. Okay, but I think the redesign of that could be better. So the middle parts of both ends have no corporate in the middle. Just go from bottom to top and put more corporate on the sides. That there are simple things you can do. New stadiums need designing to think about the vociferousness, the noise, the atmosphere of the stadium, how to make it more intense on the field. There's no doubt about it. Having more people that are not there every week in, week out, whatever you want to call them, tourists, I don't care. I'm not saying you can't have them, but make it fewer so the same people are going week in, week out, get involved. They're the people that really, really give more volume. I know lots of tourists do and they come and they enjoy it and whatever. But, I go there and there are people there, on their phones more interested in filming. Corners come and we know Arsenal, set piece again. They're not cheering or anything. They're watching, they're filming the corner. So tourists don't help. There's lots of things that can be done to help the atmosphere of a stadium. Football teams have got to understand, ownerships have got to understand that. When they're redesigning, if they redesign the Emirates to, build the capacity of, Man United or Newcastle's of the world, whatever, I don't think they're thinking totally about the atmosphere, the vociferousness of it, the intensity. They're looking at corporate, making it pretty, PC. Arsenal, for instance, we got the Ashburton Army on the South Bank. And instead of building that, we're reducing their numbers because it's PC, because people at the back complain that they stand up all the time. Or there might be a bit of swearing. Unlucky Chucky. Go to the cop and see if they sit down, if they don't swear. Football's football. You've got to accept some of the things with it. That's my opinion. Football Chat Uncensored. Reno talking. New stadiums. Redesigning the new stadiums have got to have some rethinking about how to make them pro noise, pro fans that are vociferous, not just the Prawn Brigade guys who, you know, half time go for their sandwiches and don't come back for about 5 minutes. Oh well.